Hello and welcome to the Blue Water League Gold Series. This is semi-finals between Madra and Nails and Dayspa. My name is Jake and I'm here today with my fellow caster, and we're here playing. Gonna be casting some League of Legends.
Pretty much. We've already got the pick ban rolling out. We see the Olaf, Vagar, and Oriana taken away from Nads, as well as that first pick Galio, something that's heavily contested between both mid laners.
The Vladimir coming through for Nads and will be picked up alongside the Zac jungle. A very, very strong gank presence coming through from the Zac, and Kay will be picked up as the I guess the weak side top laner. Not something we were ready to, I guess, prepared for in this draft.
For sure. We definitely do know that Nats is a strong Kale. All he has to do is just give up that early game that he so loves and enjoys and just hard scale and carry Mad Rars here against Deity.
Misfortune going to be picked
Got
up. Ban 4 from Nads. Not going to give over the early game. As
Definitely don't want that Wombo. It's just too much for them. They're probably going to pick the Leona on the side of Nads. I wouldn't be surprised. We'll just have to see. Morgana probably going to be picked up by Madrars as an easy counter pick if Nads doesn't take it away. Not sure what that ban is. However, we never really know. So we'll just move forward with the draft. I'm really excited to see what Nads is going to pull out and what Madrars is going to pull out to just counter that, because it's so obvious what their comp wants to do already.
It's looking for the Galio roams, getting out on the mid lane, just going to shove in the Cassio, get out on the map, going to make some plays with the Zac, but it seems like both teams are going to be drafting strong bot lanes, because Vladimir is very good at denying. I guess he's just going to be in the top lane, going up against the Kayle and just poking her down, farming off her, might pick up a cull early to stack that one, and the Morgana ban comes through, banning out Comfort again, Nads.
Truly, they know what they want to run in this bot lane, and they know that Nutby has the tools to counter it, taking both the Nautilus and the Morgana away. We're most likely going to see a Leona. If we don't, I have no clue what I'm talking about. But I think, Madrar is actually going to take the Leona, something very obvious that Nav is going to pull out. It's going to be really interesting to see what they're going to put in that bot lane now.
With the Misfortune ban coming through from themselves, they've banned themselves out of the Misfortune Leona typical combo. It'd be interesting to see if they're willing to pick something like an Aphelios or like a Samira. Samira works really well with the hard CC as the Jhin pick comes through from Nads.
Yeah, the Jhin pick is also just a good way to get that AoE damage in while your team kind of runs in, does the Wombo. Kind of a replacement for that Leona, for that Misfortune, I apologize. And with the Cassio and the Kayle being a bit squishy, not a bad pick. And then we see the Syndra rolling out. Just a bit of disengage for that set, and Leona, I'm assuming.
I guess the Syndra just rounds out the comp as Nads has drafted a very, very strong pick comp. Lots of options to get on people coming through from either the Galio taunt, Zac jumping on top of them, or the Scatter the Weak, which can be comboed into the W from Jhin, locking down potentially a Kayle that is just corner no man's land in a side lane. So it'll be really important for Mad to just be safe in this laning phase.
For sure. We see that final pick Lucian just completely rounding out the comps. Honestly, I think Madwar has a really good chance and a really nice draft. With that Kayle ultimate, a lot of that disengage is just going to be countered. And as long as we get the Cassio big and strong, I think Madwar is just set for life, honestly.
If the Lucian will be able to carry the Kayle and the Cassio in the early to mid game in these skirmishes around what most likely will be a bot focused game. I guess both junglers won't want to split the map. The focus coming through from this very, very strong early game bot lane from both teams, with lots of CC coming through from the Jhin and the Galio against just the insane amount of damage that Lucian just exudes in the early game. And Leona will make it easy for him to make sure he gets his double shots off and just rotates his passive between abilities.
For sure, that Galio flex was a really good one. That takes that away from Madwar's mid laner and is a good flex, allowing Syndra to actually get a nice counter pick as Madwar's made the mistake of just first picking that Cassio, not expecting that Galio. Personally, I wasn't either. So I'm really excited to see how Nads' support uses this Galio to its fullest potential because this can actually deny some of that early game carry and actually might allow Nads to just snowball and get to the point where their Vladimir, Syndra, and Jhin can just outscale that Kale Cassio.
Kalen, Vladimir they've kind of handshake not what we were expecting. They've handshaken the top lane with Kale saying, "Okay, I'll go down 20 CS. It is what it is. Vladimir will beat me early, but if you let me get to level 16 and you don't punish me early enough with some Zac ganks in the top lane, that Kale will scale past the Vladimir. But on the other hand, Vladimir does something that Kale does not. He's looking for flanks in these team fights, looking to get deep wards down, teleport down, and then get onto the Lucian, onto the Cassio, and look to one burst them with a rotation.
For sure. I think this game is just really heavy reliant on bot lane in the early game, and unfortunately, it looks like Nads has the better matchup, I'd say. I'm just really excited to see how Madwars plays this, and as long as Nats can just split push and realize what else is happening on the map, he can solo carry Madwars. We've seen him do it multiple times before on this champion, and I think the Kale is all they really need.
I think it just comes down to the Kale making sure that she's ulting the correct target in these fights, and if the Cassio is able to get a massive ult, it'll just set up Kale to just stack her passive and just completely destroying these team fights with her AoE damage.
For sure. As long as that ultimate gets on the Cassio, in my opinion, I think Lucian being out of the fight isn't the worst thing. I think towards that late game, as long as Cassio is just that hyper carry that you have alongside the Kale, it's just going to be really nice. And if Lucian has to be the one that has to die for the team, it has to be what it is. I'm not too concerned. Knowing their Madwars bot lane, they are in the position where they need to be carrying that early game. However, that's not something that they necessarily can do and have not really shown this entire season that they were able to do. So hopefully they can just play it even. This heavily reliant on Nutby just keeping track of the Galio and just making sure that he's able to apply that pressure, hopefully looking for mid roams because I don't think much is going to happen in this bot lane. Nutby's not going to have the balls to really go in, and there's no way he can, to be realistic. So as long as he just looks mid and helps get that Cassio ahead, possibly roaming with the set, it's just going to be monstrous. Getting that Syndra behind, as well as that Vlad, is just going to be key to their comp.
I guess it just comes down to ensuring that on the side of Nads, Galio always has his taunt as an answer to Leona trying to get onto the Jhin. As long as Galio, because Galio can be used very well as a disengage champion because he's so tanky, he can just knock the Leona up when she wants to get in, or just taunt her as she gets the solo flare. So just making it so the Jhin can just kite back, get his fourth shot off, and just not get as threatened as much as Mad Raws might want to, as Jhin can be quite safe if he's peeled correctly, and with his ultimate, in these team fights, he can just sit in the back, letting the burst damage come through from the rest of his side, and then come to clean up with the dancing grenades and his fourth shot to see if he can just clean up these fights. Because Madraw, I don't think they don't have the most amount of engage. Besides Leona, they don't really have any easy access onto the Jhin in terms of point and click. They really only have her E. It's going to be important for her landing solar flares that are crucial in these fights to allow Kale to just thrive and be the carry she can be.
I definitely agree here. I think as long as this Galio just uses his brain and never decides to engage on the Leona, I think it's just a win for that bot lane. It just sucks seeing that this much pressure is being put on Madwar's weak side bot. And we'll just have to see how it plays out. Hopefully, Leona can match those Galio roams, effectively communicate to the team when Galio's MIA, and hopefully they can play around that Galio ult and punish them for using their ultimates. Because really, that team has a really nice wombo. You know, the Vladimir can flank, and if need be, he can get the Galio ult. The Zac can just go in and get that Galio ult. So again, just a nice little wombo setup with their two tanks there, and it's going to be really exciting to see just this top and bot lane matchup. I'm not too concerned for the mid, but if Cassio can just find her way around these team fights, picking up some kills here and there, she's good to go. That's all Doro's ever shown to be needed, and I think it's just up to him and Nats to carry this game and just beef it out with their laners. Both are just kind of sit back and scale, and that Zac has a lot more gank presence than the set does, I feel like, and it's going to be really scary for both of them. Syndra having more escape, as well as Vladimir having more escape than the Cassio and the Kayle. If Kayle ult is down, it's pretty much a free gank if she's pushed up when she shouldn't need to be. So just that crucial decision making and being aware of where the junglers are on the map is something that's really important. And hopefully Sultan will be able to communicate with his team and get those wards in and work with Nutby to get that vision, get that deep vision, and be able to predict where that Zac is going to be, because he's going to be a huge key to getting those solo laners ahead.
Yeah, the Zac is he's a very fun jungler to watch because he has pathing similar to the Kayn, where he can gank from routes that you aren't even aware of. So deep wards are really crucial against him, making sure you have early deep vision, spotting him out when he's on the side of the maps, because he'll jump over a wall that you didn't know he could have. Like, he's got some really creative gank routes, whereas Set's not quite as a ganking centric champion. He's more there for the team fight, looking to get the massive face breaker, flashing forward to grab 2 or 3 people, and then dunking your carries back into your team. So it's kind of it's interesting that Madro decided to pick up. I guess they were hoping to use the Set as a flex pick, but Set in the jungle isn't quite as strong as he once was a couple of patches ago, because he's just not. I mean, he relies on Nads making mistakes rather than his positive proactive play, because he's just going to have a tough time. Like, even if he takes Phase Rush, he's got to proc Phase Rush before he gets that movement speed. And on the Jhin, if Jhin goes Stormrazor first, it just makes it even harder for the Set to go on him. And Galio can just taunt up the Set and then just disengage with E, or just knock him up and then taunt and then disengage for the Jhin. So it'll be really interesting to see how this Set is able to get creative with these ganks, and because it's going to be so difficult with Syndra having Scatter of the Weak, so she can just disengage and leave, and most likely going to take the Phase Rush, so she's fast after that one rotation. It's going to be very difficult for the jungler of Madra to actually get in.
I definitely agree. I think that's kind of where Madra just kind of got that weakness. Their key weakness is just the jungle pick here. And I don't know if it was necessarily a flex. I think the Cassio is more of a flex. We've seen Billy pull out the Cassiopeia before. And I think Madra's biggest mistake was just not realizing that Galio could have been flexed either way, and then picking that Cassio pretty early kind of cut them a bit. So we allowed them to get the Syndra, and we just banned out the bot lane. Just, it's going to be monstrous, and I think it's going to be their biggest regret. That Syndra is one of their mid laners' comfort picks, and I'm really excited to see how they can perform on it, really, and work with the Zac.
Do you potentially think that this could be a Lucian mid and a Cassio AP carry? It just clicked in my head now, because you're mentioning that Madros is willing to play the Cassio in the bot lane, something that not a lot of teams are willing to do. Don't have the proficiency to play these control mages like the Cassio or the Syndras in the bot lane, and Lucian mid's been more of a monster than Lucian in the AD carry role at the moment, so I think it could be flexed that way. Whereas I think Lucian is stronger in a solo lane, able to go the Manamune route and get a little bit more scaling, be a bit stronger in these fights, and just the XP and levels that you get in a solo lane is I think the early, like, it allows Lucian to hit his power spikes quicker than he would in the bot lane, and by the time he hits those power spikes, Jin's already hit them, or the Vladimir's already online. So I
Hmm.
think that it might be a good idea for Mad Rules to pivot the Lucian into the mid and drop Cassio into the bot lane.
That's something I actually didn't think about, even though discussing it pre-game. I really, now that you say that, I really think it is the Lucian mid and actually the Casco bot lane. It's one of Dilly's comforts. I haven't seen Dilly on much of the Lucian this season, and that could mean a completely different, that could be a completely different story for that bot lane. You've got a bit more disengaged with that Cassio, so if Galio does decide to go in, I think he just dies, honestly. As long as Leona can just hit the CC, I think the sheer amount of CC is just what they need if Galio decides to not be as map heavy, but maybe more lane dominant and try to engage. I think he just loses that. Whereas we have the Lucian mid against the Syndra, so it's kind of crucial because one mistake can just completely just ruin your lane. Like you get hit with that Syndra E and you're just popped. You get that one shot. As long as he's able to use his dash effectively and predict when he's going to get that E, I think he can actually win this lane pretty early and work with the set to set up some things around the bot side, which is that giving that early lead on that Lucian, like you said, is just really vital. So now that I think about it, yeah, I actually think that Lucian is just definitely mid, and that Cassio is definitely ADC. And with that amount of CC, that can mean something completely different for the bot lane that I'm not even sure of.
Yeah, it just changes up, I guess, the the story. Whereas as we look like we're going to get in game soon,
Very
hopefully.
exciting. I'm really excited to see how both teams will just play this out with both of these really strong comps with a lot of thought and detail into them. The drafting is something that I really didn't expect, and I like their utilization of the flex picks on both sides.
I think both teams are
Alrighty, in
quite
the
content
game.
with their comps. I think it just comes down to the set, that being able to be effective in the early to mid game. As we all know, Set is just an absolute monster when he gets to his tank items, and he's just becomes unkillable. As it
They're
is,
going to have a lot of that objective control. It actually does look like the Cassio is going to be bot lane. Looks like there might be some action going on here in an invade.
yeah, as Set's deciding to go into that tribush, might catch out Jin here. Let's see if he flashes forward. Not willing to do the flash face breaker, and we'll just bully the Jin out. Oh, catches the Jin, and Jin will flash out. Respect the CC and the damage that could come out from the side of what do you call it? The icons are actually switched around at the moment.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I actually think you're a bit behind me.
Am I? I might refresh the
Yeah.
stream.
You might try refreshing the page, yeah.
Yeah.
See how this turns out. But yeah, that Jin Flash being blown early means a lot. As long as Nuppy can just maybe once cast, like I think when they hit level 3 collectively, I think if they can just get that engaged and abuse the Jin for blowing that flash so early, it's going to mean a lot. We've got just a bit of poke going on. Looks like the jungler is going to start his red side, so he's definitely looking for an early gank on the top lane. Actually, maybe a level 2 cheese. Looks like he's looking down for his Krugs. We just see some basic farming going on, nothing too exciting. As people return to the lanes, Nat's already giving up a lot of farm and just getting zoned off by Deity currently.
The Zac jungle is definitely a very it takes a while to get going. His early clear isn't too quick. The set should beat him for tempo in this jungle matchup. The set will most likely get a level and gold lead over the Zac. My stream is just not wanting to play ball. I might go to Twitch and then turn my, because it's locking my quality. Is it? Yeah, it's
Here,
locking my quality a bit.
I'll stream it.
Yeah, if you're
Stream
able
my
to do the recording,
screen, yeah.
because it's not wanting to play ball.
Look at my Discord.
Uh, yep, awesome. I'll just turn the streams off so I'm not falling behind.
Sounds good. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Looks like we got everything set out. We've got that force shot onto Leona, gonna chunk her a bit. Looks like Dilly and Nuppy are losing that lane prio, something I didn't really expect, but oh, we got Sultan looking top here. Deity kind of far up. Let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, the Vladimir could be caught here as I guess, demonstrating Set's inability to really get on top laners on ganks. As he just even though Deity gets caught on the Vladimir, passes through the tri-bush, Sets is unable to get on top of him. And
Yeah, it looks like Sultan's actually gonna get caught out here.
as Vladimir and the Zac are here to catch him, Sultan will use the W to get that shield, and he'll path top to his Kayle. But I don't know. Oh, the flash coming out from Sultan. Follows the flash from the Vladimir. Gets onto the Kayle. And I think that's going to be nothing for nothing. 2 flashes blown. One on the side of Nads and one on the side of the Mad.
We've got some engage going on that Leona, actually. Leona could turn this pretty easily if she can get on. She gets onto the Galio.
The Leona ease forward. Galio is just able to disengage off of that one. And the trade's kind of even, actually. Ignite coming through from the side of Nads. And Leona will tick down as the Zac is diving top lane. The passive will be procced. Vladimir looking to see if he is able to finish off the Kayle. He is not. That tower shot was ticking quite a bit. He could have been... That passive from Zac coming through for not a lot on that top side.
I don't know what I'm watching. I can't tell if that was an int or what, but I think Nat just played that really well. And I just don't think Zac was healthy enough for that dive, or it wasn't really communicated. Looks like we got another engage coming in bot.
The Galio ease forward, looks to taunt, does so onto the Cassio, and the Cassio looks like she's just going to be burst out. And the first blood coming through to the side of Nads, and it looks like Raw's trying to trade this one back onto the Jhin, and will do so. So that's a kill going to the AD carry of Nads. However, Nutby is able to trade that one back over onto Leona. But Jhin will most likely be able to pick up a BF sword, as Nutby wants more here. Sultan comes, lands a facebreaker, but as we said, that taunt is able to just completely negate the engage, and he is surviving on a slither of health. And it's going to be no kills coming through at that play.
Honestly, really unfortunate that it played like that. I didn't realize until now, but Nubby actually brought heal on Leona because Dilly wanted the teleport, something I really didn't. I would prefer to see the ignite, or like I would have preferred to see the ignite. That would have gotten him that kill there. Nubby did blow the flash for the Jhin there, something he didn't need to do. But no summoners blown from Dilly. Not sure why he just didn't flash there. Not sure what that's going to mean. Hopefully they'll be looking bot side. We've got a lot of bot side vision coming out. Maybe looking for that early Ocean Drake, something that I know Rar likes to do. As we get just some basic trading in the top lane, Nat's just having to give up a whole lot against that Vladimir, unfortunately.
Jin's flash is back up for the side of Nads, so they weren't truly able to punish too hard that early blown summoner, as 1 for 1 in the kills department, and Nads does start to pick up a gold lead. The Vladimir does have a gold lead over the Kayle, but Nats is doing a great job of just staying even in terms of farm, able to negate the Vladimir's poke, and he's hit 6 kind of for free. Typically, you just see the Kales get completely bullied out of all creep score as the Jack comes in for the gank, lands the root onto the Cassio, taunt unable to land onto the Cassio, lands onto the Iona, and flash forward from... No, doesn't even flash forward from Mane, able to pick that one up with the 4th shot. And that's a 1 for none coming through for the side of Nads.
That is a massive wave, and that's probably going to be the first Drake going over to the side of Nads. There's that early pressure that we were talking about in draft. You just get the Galio Zac, and you just can't get out. Unfortunately, Dilly is just being... He's not having a good time. Not having a good time. We might have some action going on here in the river. That 4-shot hits on Sultan. Fortunately, Jhin does miss, and it looks like it's just going to be a disengage and just a free Drake over to Nads.
This Jhin is just completely accelerated straight past the Cassio. He's going to be able to pick up either a pickaxe or his crit cloak, depending on what he wants to go for. If he'll either go the IE route or the Storm Razor. I think Storm Razor might be smarter here as a first item, as it allows him to get onto the Cassio and slow her down, so it makes it easier for the Galio to catch up, or the Zac to land his jump.
Yeah, very exciting. Despite Nats getting zoned off, the farm is not as far back. Nats has the ability to just farm under tower. Nats got an average of 9 CS a minute. in this league. He is one of the top CSers, and it's really exciting to see how this is going to play out. Now he's going to make up for that. He's on this comfort, on this carry pick. He's pretty though, so we'll see if he's going to take it back here in a bit.
Yeah, he doesn't. He blew his teleport getting back to lane the last time after the failed dive. So honestly, he's doing a great job of just negating the early presence Vladimir has over the Kayle. If he's able to get to 11 with a relatively even in farm and no deaths, I think this Kayle pick's just going to completely take over the game.
For sure. Something I just don't like seeing, like you pointed out before, is just how his Jin's accelerated way past than what I expected. I thought this lane would be pretty, like, boring to watch, but Galio is just winning all these engages, and I think I was just wrong. Galio can engage, but Leona just can't do much with that taunt hitting, and it's just up to Dilly to get out of there. But it looks like they want to take it every time, and it's their biggest mistake from what I can see.
I guess it's just coolness recognizing the importance of this of the bot side 2v2, and he's been there to set up a couple of plays. The first one coming through the first one he wasn't there, but the second one he was able to catch the Cassio, force her to get out, force her to just blow her sums, and then comes back for a repeat as Galio comes into this mid lane, knocks up the Lucian, but Lucian cleansing and flashing, both summons blown. Sultan is able to get on the Takio, dunks him back over, gets the first one with the W. Actually, Jin picks that one up, and it will be a 1-for-none trade going to the side of Madra.
That was really well done, and I honestly props to the Zac for being there and saving that Syndra right there. Syndra dying there could have just been the lane, honestly. We see Lucian going for that Hex Drinker, getting that early magic resist, hopefully helping him with that lead. Hopefully he doesn't have to build as defensively now, and as we just see a little bit of pillow fighting over this pink ward here. But yeah, really well played by both junglers, honestly, and I think Mad Rush feels really good about getting that lead, not necessarily getting that lead back, but getting those kills. They feel good after that. They've got about a 1k deficit, however, just because of that drag and first blood, and both, actually, late farming is pretty even besides for the ADC. We see Sultan approaching top. Looks like
The Zac will spot out this set here. He'll Facebreaker comes through from the set. Zac gets caught. His passive will be procced. Kayle ulting a little bit prematurely. Actually, the passive doesn't go through as Zac's able to use his ultimate. I guess this is just going to be a free kill. No, it won't, as Deity will shadow his Zac, not allowing Mad to break him off into that passive. But I guess Mad didn't. They didn't take advantage of Zac blowing his passive on a early failed gank in the top side.
looks like we have a disconnect, possibly a pause here soon. Oh, he's still here. I don't know what just happened.
Yeah, maybe it's just a micro disconnect.
Yeah. We see them on the Drake. Wonder if they're going to contest this. It looks like they're probably just going to give it as we look mid for this.
The Solar Flare will go wide. Lucian will ult into the Syndra. Just going to use this to get it back onto the wave. Only ticks her out a little bit. Not too much chunk coming through. As the Rift Herald will be picked up. And let's see how Nads will use this. Looking to get it down post 14. Get those turret plates. Get the gold into most likely either the Jhin or the Vladimir. But they might decide that they want to break open the mid turret. It'll be interesting to see how they want to do it, as Galio's taunt will go wide, not going to be able to land up. Beautiful layer of the CC of the W into the knock up, but that's all they'll get from that one. And Nads will hop out, as Kayle seems to have the push in this top lane now. I don't think Deity is familiar in this matchup, maybe, because he doesn't look comfortable in bullying this Kayle out, as Scatter of the Week will land from the Syndra.
Honestly, it's kind of embarrassing to see, but it looks like Deity's going to go for it, getting some trades off. Nats doesn't have the ultimate up.
Let's see if the Hemoplague will be enough to land and get that kill, as we go back to the bot lane, and nothing will happen as a result. And he just does not have the damage yet on the Vladimir. The Kayle's just safe, getting the movement speed from the W, getting a little bit of healing as well. Will pop the Bilgewater Cutlass to slow the Vlad, not able to get him stuck, as Zac will jump on. As we are just so much damage coming through early from the side. This BF sword is just really snowballed this Jhin, and Nads are willing to just completely funnel all of their gold into this Jhin. as he's picked up his Storm Razor, just does lots of damage, able to slow down the carry. This Cassio is just... This pick's being abused, as Cassio doesn't have the greatest early peel, I guess, as Leona just wants to go forward, but Cassio's just getting left behind, as our Scout of the Week does come through to save his own life from the side of NADS.
Unfortunately, Nuppy does miss that Solar Flare. They actually won't give up this first tower with Sultan responding. But that was a really well done dive by the side of Nads. Although Zach did have to die for it, it was really well done. A really good way of using the fact that Dilly was just there alone with no way to escape. His flash is pretty much being blown off cooldown. Cassiopeia just doesn't get to play the game. It's really sad, really unfortunate that Dilly gets his comfort pick, his favorite pick, like his mommy Milky Cass, and he just doesn't get to have fun on it. Looks like we just got some vision being cleared in preparations for this next dragon, seeing as Nats has picked up 2 of them already.
I guess the Archangels is able to come out, but he'll have to... It'll take him a long time to stack then to that Seraph's. But the time that one does come out, it might just be too late. As PHP looking to get onto Lil Nats, as that he will have enough damage, as the Hemo Plague should proc, as he flashes forward for the E, and Vladimir is able to get the solo kill over the Kayle. And just as Kayle is about to hit her power spike, he's able to just abuse the Kayle, and finally has the confidence to go for the solo kill, and the mechanics to pick that one up.
Yeah, the mobility of that Hextech Protobelt really allowed for him to secure that kill there, as well as the flash. Really exciting things to see. Vladimir really just taking his grasp on this lane that he should have been hard winning from the start. But Nats definitely doesn't feel good about this after that flash. And we'll just see how it plays out. We have an engage coming mid lane.
He jumps onto the Lucian Cleanse burst, as the ultimate will come through. Syndra will not be able to just stack the CS, and the burst is just not enough.
People are just living with like a sliver of health. It's like really miraculous that these things are happening. Just not a bunch of early damage, but a lot of good setup. We'll definitely see.
As Sultan's looking to punish Zach from getting a bit too greedy, trying to steal away his camps, as Taco is here to clean up from Sultan. The dunk will come back onto the Zach, but I think Sultan will be able to get out as Kayle is here. And Leona will jump. There's 2 fights going on at once at the same time. Zach passive is procced, and Zach will go down. And that's another pick for Mad R, as Kayle is not going to pick that one up. It's going to be the Set who does get that kill. A little bit unfortunate, but a kill nonetheless.
We do see Kayle blow the flash after being hit by that Syndra E. They're looking to be dived here. Will Sultan be able to come and respond in time?
That's enough damage coming through, and the Vladimir is able to pick up his 2nd kill of the match. Sultan looking to punish, see if he can, but that Vladimir is just too slippery. And Root coming through onto that Cassio. Beautiful layer of CC, and Jin will be able to pick up that one with the 4th shot. And this Jin is just gonna become a complete monster. He's picked up his 3rd kill of the game. Vladimir at 2. The gold for Nads is just exactly where they want it. This Vladimir's just been snowballed.
It's just very, very unfortunate the way this game is playing out. Dilly just doesn't ever get to play, getting caught out a lot. And I feel like a big part of that is he just doesn't respect the hard CC that this Jin and Galio have over him. I feel like he feels like he has a little too much power. As Nuppy just goes in the river, preparing for this Drake that's coming up next.
As Deity will look to trade on to the Kayle, but Kayle is 11. He has to be worried about that power spike. We go into the mid lane. Leona will get the E to avoid the taunt, as Galio will ult in, and that's quite a few ults blown for no kills on the side of blue. As
we see that Galio
will go wide. The Cassio is just going to survive on a slither unless blue want to overchase. Set will dunk it. Solar Flare goes wide. Mane is tunneling onto Dilly. However, able to pick up with the from the Syndra onto the Set, and Set's just not able to do quite a bit on these team fights. Just the rest of his teams are not strong enough for him. He's getting good engages off, good angles, but this is no follow-up.
Dilly.
This Casio pick,
I,
the range of it is just getting abused by this Jin Galio, and the length of engages. This will be a close, as the ultimate will come a bit early to disengage from the Vladimir, and Vladimir will blow ult for ult, as the blue team will pick up their third dragon. It is Infernal Soul this match.
Infernal Soul for Nads is just not going to be fun. It's not going to be fun to play against, especially when Dilly is in the position he is now. He's going to get popped even faster. Hands down, I think Dilly just kind of ruined that fight and ruined any chance of them contesting that. Despite the Galio ulti getting blown so early, something very abusable, Kale didn't have flash. Kale wasn't able to come to the fight. The Galio ulti was out. There was a missed engage. There was definitely room for punishment there, but Dilly just getting caught out again, not with his team ever. And looks like Naz is just going to pick up a second Herald for free, giving them even more map pressure, allowing them to probably secure this next Infernal Soul pretty freely.
Yeah, with the 3 dragons being taken and the soul point for Nads, Murderer they have to force this. They have to fight. If they don't fight, if they do not come, that's just a free Infernal Dragon for a Jin and a Vladimir, who already have the gold behind them, as it is a 5k gold lead, as Kale will just get completely blown up, understands that an ultimate's not going to save him there, and he will go down, and it'll be interesting to see if they do use the Herald, which they do, looking to blow through this tier 2 turret on the top side. Herald will tank a bit.
Honestly, this is something I wouldn't have done. I would have thrown this mid, if anything. I don't think that play top was necessary. You're just allowing Kale to farm even easier and even safer. Something you don't really want to provide her.
I guess,
however,
from the point of view of Nads, they're just trying to make it so the vision line from Madra is just going to have to be pushed even further back into their own jungle. As that turret has gone down, they'll be less confident getting any closer, but as you said, the mid turret is better at doing that.
For sure. However, I can also see, like you're saying, again, that vision line, just getting that tier 2 top down might actually require Kale to be topside more, not necessarily with her team, because Kale, she's still behind in farm. She's been pretty much versing this Vladimir. We haven't seen this Vladimir anywhere else but top, and really never at these dragon fights. Just proving how strong Nads is everywhere on the map. And something that, like, we were relying heavily on this Kale, and I think Nads can end before she really comes online.
I mean, it's crucial for Nads just to snowball the lead they've picked up. They have gold on all 3 of their carries, their high damage carries, and the Scarab of the Reek will go wide. But if they're able to pick up this Baron off of potentially a pick onto the Casio in a side lane, or the Kale again, they'll be able to pick up the Baron for themselves and look to push as probably a 1-4. This comp probably is saying a 1-4 as Fish is looking to pick up Dilly here again. Dilly will, most of his skill shots will go wide, unable to press the R, as Goodness will hop on. Jin able to root up the Set, as Set will just get completely chunked down. And Dilly getting caught again, getting his team to have to come to his rescue, but he's sacrificed his jungler for the sake of his own life, and he's not worth any gold, so
This is the second time this has happened. That last dragon fight, Sultan was the one to go down for Dilly's mistake, and Dilly lived. Is it really worth it at this point? Like you said, he's worth virtually nothing. Galio's just blowing his ultimate for no reason, hitting no one, and it's just unpunishable because Dilly just doesn't have the gold or any of the resources to provide the carry that he needs.
Just this Galio he's got his Knight's Vow. He has the Merc Tread, so the CC won't be as effective as it could have been. The Jin Trap Bomb coming out, looking to get a cheese amount of burst. As they're looking to set up a bush trap here. As let's see if Madara do go into it. Get a bit impatient. The Syndra decides, I'm not gonna let you come to me. I'm gonna go to you, but unable to get anything to happen again. But just the itemization coming through from Nads, they've just been accelerated too much. Like, they've hit their spikes just before Madrock has.
Ooh, Madras actually can punish them for resetting so early. We do get a TV back, but Jin is going to be late to this fight. Not being going on for the engage.
As the Galio gets CC'd up, but you see again the taunt used as a disengage tool, not letting the rest of Madra able to get on top of him, and he's just too tanky. Like the amount of stuff as Zach does hop in, doesn't pick up any. As Vladimir's able to find a pretty good flank here, he will pull, and the Jin ult will come back over the top. As Lucian is able to get his ultimate down, and Dilly is able to pick up his first kill of the game. And we see, as this one goes down, Lucian is looking to burst out this Galio. And Lil Nas will be able to trade back onto the Galio. Great team fight. Jin picks up one. As we see, completely turning around. Able to go 1 for 4 as the game will be paused.
That is exactly what Madwars needed. That is exactly how Madwars wins these kind of games, where their bot lane loses so hard. You throw Nats in there after he's hit a couple of levels and after a couple of items, and he's just there in the back, constantly autoing, constantly getting that ulti off, Dilly landing an amazing ult, providing that CC, allowing for Duero and Nats to just follow up freely, along with that kill ult. I think they responded really well to that Vladimir flank. Leona immediately spotting it out, CCing him, and the whole team responded really well. And I think that is exactly what they need to do and continue to do. They feel really good after that fight. Their mentals are back, feeling really amazing. And Dilly, again, like you said, picking up that first kill, not going to mean a lot for him. However, he does feel better now that he hit all that CC for his team. And this is where Ra really comes online. This is where Ra is going to pick up all of those Infernal Dragons, get that massive damage out, and then Nats is just going to snowball to God knows where, and the game is just over. I'm really excited to see how they're going to play out with that fight.
Dilly was able to pick up the shutdown onto the Vladimir, able to get a little bit closer. He's still 1,000 gold behind his lane opponent of the Jin. And we just look at the gold differential from both teams. Disadvantage coming all lanes from the side of Madra. Just Nads has more gold on every single champion.
Yeah, like you said, even after that fight, they're still not completely caught up. Hopefully, they don't overextend or get too cocky after that fight. Hopefully, they just continue to farm and scale and continue to play those fights like that. Getting that Vladimir, noticing the Vladimir flank almost immediately, and just responding as quickly and as effectively as possible is how they win these fights. They barely won that fight. However, if they keep doing what they're doing, I think Madras has a great chance to win this. They're going to pick up all those Infernal Souls, keep doing this every single dragon fight, and just end the game from there. Nats being there really just turned the fight, turned the tides, and it was really exciting to see how they responded to that Vladimir so well. Props to Nuppy for spotting it out and calling it to his team is what it appeared. As the game does get on pause, we do see Jin hovering around, not really going to get much action out as Madwars picks up that Infernal.
Their first dragon looking to get... they've denied the first potential soul point from Nads as they were able to win that fight, but as we were mentioning before, it's 4k gold deficit on the side of Madra. It's going to be very difficult for them to like drag their way back in, but if they're able to win a fight 7k gold lead from a 7k gold deficit, surely the 5k gold deficit, they feel like they're confident and able to turn these fights. It's just going to be micro outplays that are going to really let them get the win. It's going to be difficult for them to do what they want to do, as Nads just have drafted so much disengage and crowd control, which makes it very difficult for the set to get where he wants to. As Nats has hit, Lil Nats has hit level 14 on the Kayle, getting awfully close to that level 16.
Yeah, once he hits level 16, if Madwars can continue doing those fights perfectly like they did last fight, it's going to be a win for the side of Raw. They're going to take the first game of the series, and that's going to propel them into hopefully winning the series. These players are just really mental driven, and losing the first game isn't going to really set them on a good path. But they're kind of showing and proving that they're the underdogs here and that they can hold their own even when they're this far behind. Just punishing those mistakes, like I said before, punishing that Galio for blowing his ultimate like that. And even then, the Kale ulti was just enough. Looks like they're preparing for this dragon, just contesting some of this vision here and getting that prio because they have the ability to siege pretty well and they can just dive. So if Mad Rars just doesn't give up those towers, it can just be drastic and can just mean the end of the game by allowing them to just dive so easily.
There's quite a bit of wave clear from the side of Madra as Lucian, he has picked up his mana immune. He has quite a bit of mana. As Galio will be able to land the taunt onto the Galio. CC chain coming through, and that Leona, she's tanky. She's popped gargoyles, but she's might not be able to get out as she's able to get to the blast cone. But Mane able to pick up that one as Nads is just able to get pick after pick, and they will turn directly onto this Baron.
That was really disappointing, especially after seeing Nuppy perform so well in that last fight. Just for him to throw it all away and just give them that Baron, this actually, if done correctly, could be the way they just end the game and snowball. Just continuing to dive. We do see a TP coming up from Nats. Looks like they do want to contest this, keep this Baron away. Looks like they're pulling off.
Galio is able to land. No, he will not be able to land that taunt. The Sultan's looking to see if he's able to find a route onto this Baron. They are pushing the blue side off actually a little bit, as Sultan might have caught the Galio here. No, he won't. Decide to use the face breaker. And they're doing a great job of delaying, just giving the Leona time to get back on the map, as Sultan will go wide with his R. Vladimir able to get all the way onto the backline with his pull, able to pick up 2 right there. But double kill coming from Dilly. His Cassio is actually doing work now, as the Jhin ultimate unable to pick up the Vladimir. However, it's just traded back 3 for 3 here, and the blue side was able to just get delayed from Madra, and Leona was able to get back up as Leona lands E. Kale gets Scatter of the Weak. Will able to pick up that first pick onto the Syndra. Kale's not healthy enough. Might be able to heal up a little bit with the Gunblade, but that's 4 for 3.
Really exciting stuff. Nuppy did kind of make up for that kind of int there. I think they did a good job of contesting that, and I feel like if they responded to the Vladimir a bit earlier, I think they would have actually won that fight a bit harder than they just did. And getting that pick on Syndra was a really nice catch by Nuppy. Dilly actually kind of back in the game. Those ultimates are just just fight changing. They completely turn the tides for the side of Mad Rars, and it's really exciting to see them catch up. The next Infernal Soul is coming up. We can see Galio coming in a little bit too deep. Looks like Leon's going to catch him.
Able to land the E, but this Galio is super tanky. He has gargoyles, able to pop this one, but the whole side of Madra able to get onto the Galio as he's stunned up once again, just rotating the CC as soon as it's up, and Galio is just dead, and that's a pick before Dragon. So I don't know if Nads are going to want to be able to contest this Dragon. Is it worth them potentially losing more in a 4v5 than just the Infernal Soul? I mean, just delaying the Infernal Soul, another Dragon. As the steal will not go through as Red is able to secure it, and Zac could be stuck here again. He does have his passive up. Jhin will ult, looking to burst out the side, but he'll cancel that one. Passive goes down from Jhin. As set, it will get completely shredded through. Syndra able to pick up the one. Jhin out, the double coming through, sorry, from the Syndra, and just completely cleaning up this one. Nads do such a great job of just letting the Dragon do quite a bit of damage for them before they pick when they want to engage, and they will turn onto this Baron and they will get it. As 4 for none coming through from the side of Nads.
Mad Wars kind of stayed for a bit too long there. I would have liked them to just grab the Dragon and just go. However, Sultan was out for blood, led the engage in, and it just didn't end out too well. They don't really pay attention to when Deity has the opportunity to flank. Galio putting in those wards, even though he died for it, it still looks better for the favor of Nads as they keep their gold league, and holy moly, Mad Rars is pretty behind.
However, as we are able to see on our screen, that Kale, she's hit 16, she's online, she's at 2.5 items, she's delayed her build a little bit, not being able to pick up the Wit's End just yet, as she has decided to go for the Executioners, to try and cut through the healing from the Zac and the Vladimir. But as you were saying, 7k gold is just way too much. And Madra are still handshaking fights. It's not they're handshaking the fights Nads want to take. They're not getting picks and securing them. They're just going, Nads is engaging on us. We'll handshake this fight even though we're able to get out.
It's just really exciting to watch. These team fights are just really entertaining to watch and just see how they respond to the Vladimir. Because right now, Vladimir is really the only threat. However, Syndra did pick up a lot from that last fight, so we'll see what they do with this Baron. Looks like they might be setting up Cheese, preparing to engage here, looking for a dive. Galio does have ultimate ready just to follow up, but it looks like it's going to be spot out by Nutby.
Madrod, they're respecting the vision that is denied and the stuff they do not have, as Nads are trying to lay a trap in the fog of war, but this unable to tempt Madrod into making a mistake quite yet. As you were saying before, this Syndra, she's about to pick up her death cap on this recall. She's got her 2 magic pen items. She's got her burst coming through from the Ludens and the death cap as well, so 1 scatter of the week and you're dead. Like, if she's able to land that stun, you're completely chunked out. Every single person on the side of Madrol, maybe with Set being the exception.
Yeah, we can see some trading going on top, and Vladimir's just ginormous right now. He's got 4 items. He's got that Hextech Protobell, he's got the Void Staff, he's got the Zhonya's, and he's got... looks like he's getting caught here by Nuppy.
We see the Galio coming down to lay onto Dilly. Dilly's caught once again. Jinult coming through. Kalia able to save Set for just a little bit longer, but he's not the one that needs saving. The whole side of Mad Raw does, as they are able to just get completely cleaned up. And this might be game here, as that is a 3-for-1 for the side of Nads. And they are pushing with a full wave 2 Baroned up minions, which are just going to completely... They're just going to escort these ones, do the damage for them, and that might be game. As the last-ditch effort from the Set is just going to be CC'd in the bouncy house. That is the team comp of Nads, and that's a double kill for Vladimir, and that is game over.
A team is only as strong as their weakest link, and unfortunately, Dilly getting caught out all those times just allowed Nads to just completely take over the fight. Really disappointing to see that happen. And Nads will be taking the first game of the semifinal series on Blue Water League. Very exciting stuff.
I guess Madara need to draft a weak side bot lane comp for themselves, because they just need to draft safety and let their top laner carry for them, because Kale was getting to the point where she was able to finally get some damage out, but you can't do damage if it's a 4v5.
Precisely. Dilly just getting caught and caught and caught again. And I think no matter the champion he's on, if he keeps making those like game-breaking mistakes, those game-changing mistakes, it's not going to look good for the side of Mad Mars. They don't feel good after that, because they were actually starting to win those fights. They had hope, and all was lost the second Dilly just stepped a bit too far up, and Nads punished him heavily for that.
Nat just did a great job of just laying traps, playing in the fog of war, playing without the vision, and just baiting Dilly into thinking, yeah, I can take this wave. Yeah, I'm able to pick up this farm, as the damage charts of just this Vladimir was just completely monstrous.
Allowing DD that Vladimir was probably the biggest mistake Mad Rars has ever made, and they truly regret that. Just a truly amazing series, truly well played by both sides. Really exciting for the underdogs Mad Rars here, but they just couldn't pull through. Unfortunately, Dilly just held them back pretty heavily, and hopefully he realizes he can't be making those mistakes, or else the series just instantly goes to Nads. They can identify that so easily. You can't be getting caught like that. Really exciting. Really well played by both sides, and we'll see you guys for the next game of this semifinal series. Thank you. Okay, I'm tired as fuck.